Welcome back to the High Performance Podcast. I'm Sebastian, and today I want to talk about something that's hiding in plain sight. It's not a lack of talent, it's not a shortage of information, it's something much more subtle and far more dangerous. I'm talking about a new form of professional illiteracy. And if you don't see it, if you don't address it, it will quietly cap your growth, limit your opportunities, and leave you behind in a world that's accelerating, whether you're ready or not. Let me explain. For years, we defined professional literacy in very specific terms: knowing how to read, write, calculate, follow procedures, and master the tools of your trade. If you could do those things well, you were considered educated, competent, ready for the workforce. But the game has changed. The rules have changed. And the tools have changed faster than most people's ability or willingness to adapt. Today, being professionally literate means much more than knowing how to use Excel or give a decent presentation. It means being able to think in systems, to collaborate across cultures and platforms, to learn, unlearn, and relearn without emotional resistance, to navigate ambiguity, tension, and rapid change without losing clarity. And perhaps most importantly, to understand how your decisions, behaviors, and mindset influence a world that no longer rewards repetition but reinvention. Here's the hard truth: if you're not updating how you think, if you're not building new mental models for how work, leadership, and innovation operate today, if you're not learning faster than your environment is changing, you're already behind. That's the new professional illiteracy. It's not about not knowing, it's about thinking you already know. Because the people most at risk are not those who never had access to good education. It's those who stopped learning because they believed their credentials were enough. Those who rely on experience but stopped evolving. Those who are proud of how things used to work but uncomfortable with how things are working now. Let me be even more direct. Being great at what worked 10 years ago is not a guarantee of relevance. In fact, it may be your biggest blind spot. So the question is, how do you avoid this kind of illiteracy? How do you make sure you don't wake up one day and realize the world changed and you didn't? You start by shifting your mindset from knowledge accumulation to adaptive intelligence. You don't just ask, "What do I know?" You ask, "How quickly can I learn something new when the rules shift? How comfortable am I with not knowing? Can I hold two contradictory ideas and think through them without panicking?" Because the new workplace doesn't reward just what you know, it rewards your ability to grow under pressure, your ability to update, to connect dots, to question your own assumptions with humility. Let me give you a few traits of the new literate professional, the one who stays sharp, relevant, and indispensable in the modern economy. First, they are systems thinkers. They don't just solve problems, they map root causes. They understand how one decision impacts another part of the business, another team, another process. They don't think in isolated tasks, they think in consequences. Second, they are deep collaborators. They know how to communicate across cultures, time zones, and digital platforms. They don't just work well in a team, they build trust quickly. They create alignment when there's none, and they bring clarity to the mess without dominating the conversation. Third, they have digital fluency. They don't need to be coders or engineers, but they understand how technology impacts business. They understand how AI, automation, and analytics shift value. They're not afraid of tools, they explore them, test them, integrate them. Fourth, they have emotional agility. They know how to lead themselves before they try to lead others. They can navigate feedback without defensiveness. They regulate their emotions under stress. They don't collapse under pressure. They adapt with focus. Fifth, they practice continuous reinvention. They don't tie their identity to a single role, title, or method. They are always scanning the horizon, always asking, what's changing? What does this mean for me? Where do I need to upgrade? Now, if any of this makes you feel uncomfortable, good, because that discomfort is a sign that your brain is stretching. It means you're starting to realize that growth isn't a phase, it's a permanent condition. And in this age, you either evolve by design or fall behind by default. Avoiding professional illiteracy also means letting go of the illusion of arrival. You are never done. The moment you believe you've made it, that you figured it all out, you've started to decay. I say this with love. Experience is not an excuse for stagnation, and seniority is not protection against irrelevance. I've seen too many smart, experienced professionals become invisible, not because they weren't good, but because they stopped being curious. They stopped listening to younger voices. They stopped exploring new tools. They stopped asking new questions. So, what can you do today, right now, to avoid this trap? Start by asking better questions. When was the last time you learned something that made you uncomfortable? When was the last time you were truly wrong about something and updated your belief? Who are you learning from outside your usual circle? What technology are you exploring? Not because you have to, but because you're curious. Build rituals for growth. Block time for deep learning every week. Listen to people who disagree with you. Test new tools, even if they seem unnecessary at first. Read beyond your industry. Watch patterns emerge across disciplines. Invest in your adaptability as much as your knowledge, because it's your capacity to respond to change, not your resistance to it, that will define your future. And above all, stay humble. Humble professionals are the most dangerous in the best way because they're never satisfied. They don't pretend to know it all. They don't lead with ego. They lead with curiosity. They keep reinventing themselves long after others stop trying. Let me close with this. The future doesn't belong to the know it alls. It belongs to the learn it alls, to the ones who are willing to question, evolve, and stay sharp no matter how much they've already achieved. Don't let yesterday's success blind you. Don't confuse comfort with competence. The new illiteracy is real, but it's avoidable if you keep learning on purpose. Thank you for being here today. This is the High Performance Podcast. I'm Sebastian, and I'll see you in the next episode where we grow, think, and lead beyond what's obvious.